Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Lawrence Meredith, European Union Ambassador, has arrived without cheese.
Arrived without cheese.
You
Listen, you have to
eaten it
wait
all.
to get some cheese like a proper farmer. You've got to walk all the way to PB25. I calculated it's 43 meters back to your right, Andy.
Hey, now, we have just been let into a little secret that you've just received a demotion.
Yeah, that's it. After 3 beautiful years in Aotearoa, New Zealand, I'm being dragged across to Australia on the 1st of September. But I'd like
Can
to
I
thank...
say how disappointed I am at that?
It's been so, I put it this way, I fell in love with the Pacific region and I couldn't bear to go back to rainy Brussels. So the next best thing was Australia.
So you don't have to go to Canberra, do you?
I have to go to Canberra, but
no.
I'll be on the bounce. Just as I'm here in Fieldays, I think I'll be on the road quite a bit in that job too.
So Lawrence,
Have you ever been there?
I've been several times in Canberra. Love
you?
the kangaroos, love the Gala
god-awful.
parrots. I'm a bird watcher.
The best thing about Canberra is the War Memorial Museum. It's extraordinary. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and as I said to Tom McClay, the problem with Australians is they do not appreciate fine food and wine like the Europeans and the New Zealanders.
Yeah, and they need a bit of help with their rugby as well. So that's why I'm going over there.
Yes, like the Crusaders won't need any help tonight.
No, they won't, will they?
I have to confess that I'm a Chiefs fan because the guy who coached them last time's now with Munster, and he came to our cheese stand. Unlike you, Andy, he came and walked all the way to the stand last time.
I've been there twice. Don't worry.
Talking about actually about cheese, I had the privilege of going over to Switzerland a couple of years ago and learning more and more around geographical indicators and who has them and who doesn't, and also your representation of New Zealand cheese versus the EU.
I hope you've been explaining the benefits to Minister McClay, because I agree with him on almost everything, but he's got a bit of a blind spot on geographical indicators, because I think it would be in the Kiwi DNA. Local products from local areas, strong local identity. That's all it really means. If you get your Roquefort cheese, you want to be sure it's from the Roquefort caves and just not made up and branded by somebody.
Yeah.
Lawrence, and the thing is, I was in Switzerland, which is non-EU country, and I saw how those that weren't protected have been, dare I say, bastardized around the world.
Well, that's why we think it's really important, and we do have geographically protected Kiwi products like excellent Central Otago Pinot Noir. Occasionally have a glass myself.
Yes.
You have been known. Yes, exactly. Hey, look, 2 years since the NZ-EU Free Trade Agreement came into force. Obviously, a huge deal for us. It's a two-way thing, though. How's it working from the EU side coming into NZ?
Well, firstly, it's really important to say it's going gangbusters. So on this, I do agree with Minister McClay. For New Zealand exporters, an extra $3 billion in just 2 years. That's absolutely phenomenal. But on the two-way street, I mean, my favorite story is the partnership. You've probably heard of a French brand called Chanel, and they've just struck up a partnership with a sheep station in Lammermoor in Central Otago, because it's got the finest organic wool. Even if as a Yorkshire Irishman, I find that a bit hard to swallow. But they've stuck up a partnership. I think it's phenomenal. And also at our famous cheese stand, PB25, for anybody who's listening and is in the show, we had somebody come up the other day and say, did the map of Europe. Oh, that's Lithuania. Yeah, I know that because I've just bought my tractor from there. That was a Kiwi farmer. So new partnerships are being forged all the time, Andy.
I want to ask you about the EU's carbon border adjustment that potentially is coming in, and the EU usually leads globally around things like that. How much will that affect New Zealand exports?
Well, you know what? That's interesting, because I was on a panel with Rob Hewitt and Nathan Guy last night, and I think we all agree New Zealand's got fantastic quality agriculture. It's meeting all the highest standards, and actually you're pitching to the quality market. So the reason international consumers want New Zealand product is because it's so good and it's sustainably produced. And that's what European consumers work. And I mean, my suggestion is that you keep up the high standards of sustainability that I've seen up and down this country and keep pitching the top layer of consumers.
So do you think that we should be advocating a lot more for our farming practices and how they do differ from the EU, particularly around things like deforestation? So there's an understanding of that.
But I think the important point here is that European Union and New Zealand are committed to sustainable farming, to net zero by 2050. And you know what? I think we get the narrative a little bit wrong. For me, it's not about sticking to Paris or not Paris. The point is that we want to produce for future generations the best quality, most sustainable farming. And that's what New Zealand and the European Union are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to sell. We can sell to 40 million people. We want to sell to the richest, right? And we'd like to sell as much as we can to the Europeans. Lawrence, you've been here before. This is a pretty amazing field day. What's it been like on your stand? And have you still got some cheese left for Sarah and I?
I absolutely love Fieldays, the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere. I brought 10 European ambassadors. We had the first ever EU New Zealand agri-innovation lunch yesterday with 200 people in the room just at that new pavilion across the road. And on the cheese, I've calculated, we've had almost 5,000 people through our stall in 2.5 days. I'm pretty sure we're going to get close to hitting 10,000. It shows how popular Fieldays is and how good European cheese is.
And you were at the dinner the other night with the other ambassadors.
Absolutely.
And did you enjoy the roast?
I absolutely did. I mean, you know what we were saying, only in New Zealand, all my colleagues couldn't believe how much the politicians rolled up their sleeves and joined in the banter, and it was really good crack, as we say in Ireland.
So you wouldn't get that in Ireland, even though you have a great
Ireland maybe. I think that the French and Italian ambassadors, their eyebrows went deep into their scalp. So, but it was highly entertaining and a lot of good fun.
Yeah, and raise a lot of good money for a really good cause.
I know that's true, because I would like to just say on live radio that the Rural Support Trust does really, really fantastic work. Do back it. Congratulations to all those who do. I mean, the story we heard at that dinner was heartrending, and I, like a number of people, were in tears. So it shows how important it is. I come from a dairy farming village. It's tough work. It can be lonely work sometimes, and I think they do amazing work.
All right. Lawrence Meredith, we've loved having you on the show. Congratulations on your demotion.
Thanks very much, Andy.
And
lovely to be with you. Keep up the
you.
good work. See you in Canberra.
Yes.
I've been there twice. That is 2 times too many, to be honest. Right, we're going to come over and see you in a minute.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.